The Earth is covered by 71% water. Yes, you already know that. But do you know this? Only 2% of that water is drinkable. And most of that 2% is frozen at the poles. The real share left for us? 0.007%. 8 billion people. 0.007%. You do the math. Right now, 2 billion people in the world do not have access to clean water. That means 1 out of every 3 people. So is this just a statistic? No. This is a ticking time bomb that directly affects you. Experts say that within the next 30 years, more than 80% of the wars in the world will be fought not over oil, but over water. Today, I'm going to tell you not about oil, but about how water became liquid gold. Who will win this war? And, the most important question, where do you stand in this war? Welcome to economic history. The place where the untold truths about how money, power, and economic history shape our modern world are revealed. In 1950, the world population was 2.5 billion. Our water consumption reflected that. Today, we have surpassed 8 billion. But our water resources have remained the same. Worse yet, they've become polluted. Agriculture consumes 72% of the fresh water used by humanity. Producing 1 kilogram of beef requires 15,000 liters of water. A single t-shirt requires 2,700 liters. The phone you are holding right now required 13,000 liters. Now turn your attention to the world's 3 major drought hells. First, the Middle East and in North Africa, the most water-poor region on Earth. 80% of countries there live under water stress. Gulf countries now drink desalinated seawater at enormous cost. Second, South Asia. In India, underground water reserves are dropping below critical levels. In the capital, New Delhi, experts predict that groundwater could be completely depleted by 2030. A city of over 100 million people could be left without water. Third, Sub-Saharan Africa. Women walk an average of 6 kilometers every day just to carry water. Imagine walking that distance every single day. You can't go to school, you can't work, you're simply running to survive. And all of this is happening before climate change has even shown its full force. As climate change intensifies, rainfall becomes more irregular, glaciers melt, and rivers dry up. The bad is becoming even worse. China. The Tibetan Plateau is the source of dozens of major rivers such as the Mekong, Yellow River, Indus, and Salween. These rivers flow out of China into Southeast Asia and South Asia. So what is China doing? Building hundreds of dams on these rivers. Countries downstream like Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand are left at the mercy of Beijing for the flow of their water. This is called hydrohegemony, establishing political power through control of water. When China reduces the flow of the Mekong, millions of Cambodian farmers are left helpless. And realistically, how hard can Cambodia push back against China? Do you remember the Syrian civil war? Analysts say the real trigger of the war was the massive drought between 2006 and 2010. Agriculture collapsed, villages emptied, millions moved into cities. Cities overflowed. Social tensions exploded. War began. Water may not have pulled the trigger directly, but it was an accomplice. And this is not an exception. Darfur, Yemen, the Sahel region. Dig beneath almost every crisis, and you will find water stress. Let's speak concretely. Which flashpoints are burning? India, Pakistan. Two nuclear-armed neighbors. Since 1960, they have had the Indus Waters Treaty between them. But climate change is melting the Himalayan glaciers. And when those glaciers retreat, the rivers supplying both India and Pakistan will dry up. Both countries know this, and tensions rise a little more every year. Egypt, Ethiopia, Sudan. Over the last 5 years, the Egyptian military has conducted mobilization exercises based on Nile scenarios. Ethiopia filled its dam. Egypt now has very few cards left to play. This tension is waiting for a single spark. Central Asia. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, the Aral Sea lost 90% of its volume. Today, salt deserts mark where a lake once existed on the map. Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan remain locked in chronic disputes over the Sirdarya and Amu Darya rivers. The strange part? All of these countries are still full of old Soviet weapons. Mexico, United States. The Rio Grande is drying up. The Colorado River no longer reaches the Gulf of Mexico. In the southern United States, cities like Los Angeles, Phoenix, and Las Vegas are battling chronic drought. Farmers are going bankrupt. Indigenous communities are migrating. And this wave of migration is creating another crisis at the Mexico-US border. Do water wars not concern you? Then think about this. Water conflicts create mass migration. Mass migration creates political crises. Political crises shake economies. Economic shocks eventually reach your wallet. No matter where you think you stand in the chain connects all of us. Water scarcity is also hitting wealthy countries. In Germany, the Rhine River dropped so low in 2018 that factories shut down and ships could no longer pass through. In China's Chongqing city, rivers dried up 2 years ago, hydroelectric plants stopped operating, and factories lost electricity. California has only just emerged from a 6-year drought. This is not a third world problem. This is everyone's problem. Now, it's not enough to only show the darkness. We should also show the light. Israel was built in one of the most water-scarce regions in the world, yet today it achieves nearly 100% water efficiency. Through drip irrigation, they revolutionized agricultural water use. They recycle 90% of wastewater and produce more than half of their drinking water through desalination. Not a miracle. Engineering. Singapore manages rainwater, purified water, imported water, and recycled water through 4 separate systems under its 4 national TAPS policy. In the Middle East, some countries are building massive solar-powered desalination plants. The technology is ready. The financing largely exists. The real problem is political will. Rivers do not recognize borders, but states do. And there is no international framework for sharing water. The UN has the Law of the Sea Convention, but there is no similarly binding mechanism for river law. That gap is an invitation to war. When oil runs out, humanity can find alternative energy. There's solar, wind, nuclear. But when water runs out, there is no alternative. The map of 21st century wars is already being drawn. And on this map, the most valuable lands are not around oil wells, but around rivers and lakes. Whoever controls water controls power. Whoever controls power writes history. So, what can you do on an individual level? Reducing water waste is one thing, but more importantly, become informed voters. Water policies are shaped through local elections, international agreements, and development projects. An uninformed voter becomes a pawn in this game. Don't let that be you. Thank you for watching this video. If this content made you feel something, anger, anxiety, curiosity, whatever it may be, share that feeling in the comments. Because water scarcity will not be solved unless people talk about it, and you can start that conversation. I'm waiting for your comments. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.